to show you how to make something so easy a caveman could have made it, if he had known it, of course. I'm going to show you the easy steps it takes to make lemon bars, but first, let me fill you in on some background and history about lemons and lemon bars. Lemon bars have no known creator. The first recipe for lemon bars was introduced in 1963. Lemons originated in India, and lemon bars were very popular in the 1970s. The hippies loved them. So our first step is to make sure we have all of our ingredients. So 1/3 cup of butter, 2 bowls, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, 2 teaspoons of shredded lemon, and you see how my lemon looks? That's how your lemon should look after you shred your lemon. 3 eggs, 1 cup of sugar. Why I have this divided up because in our recipe it calls for 1/4 a cup of sugar and 3/4, so that's why it's divided. And we have 2 tablespoons of flour because the recipe also calls for that, and 1 cup of flour right here. And then powdered sugar, which is optional, and a sifter that goes with it. Your baking pan, mine is 8 by 8 by 2.5, and electric beaters. So we're going to need to beat the butter for about 30 seconds on 1. So beat it until it starts to look like this. And then we're going to need to add our 1/4 cup of sugar. And then we need to beat that until it's combined thoroughly enough and it starts to look a little crumbly, like so. And then we need to add our 1 cup of flour, like this. And you need to beat all this and combine it until it starts to look like this. And then we're going to need to add our 1/4 cup of sugar. And then we need to beat that until it's combined thoroughly enough and it starts to look a little crumbly, like so. And then we need to add our 1 cup of flour, like this. And you need to beat all this and combine it until it starts to look. So when you're all done mixing it, your crust should look like this. And another way to do this is if you don't have electric beaters like I do here, you can crumble it with your hands and like copy the motion you'd use when you're breading chicken. So our next step is to pour our crust into our baking pan, like so. And we want to flatten it down on all the corners, make sure that everything is covered up. You don't want any spaces. And you want to make sure it's evenly spread out throughout the pan, like so. And we're going to pop this into the oven, which is preheated to 350 for 17 minutes. In the oven, you can make the rest. You can make the batter, which calls for 2 eggs, like this. Your 3/4 cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, like that, and your shredded lemon. Make sure you get all that in there. You don't want to not have enough. And you want to beat all of this for about like 2 minutes or until you think it's all thoroughly combined. And when you're done, it should start to look like that. All the way over to the oven and you'll see what your crust should look like when it's done, like so. And then we're going to pour our batter that we made earlier over the top of it, like so. You want to make sure that it gets on all the crust, or you're just going to have just crust when you take a bite of this later on, and no lemon. That won't taste very good. And we're going to pop this into the oven for 20 minutes at 350. Like so. And once you let it cool, you can cut it into proportionate sized squares for however many people you're feeding with this dessert. And so I'm cutting it 3 by 3 because there's not a lot of people who are going to be eating this. And once you cut it, you can get your powdered sugar, which originated in Europe in the 18th century, and you can sprinkle it over the top of it with the sifter. And so it should look like something like this. It depends on however much powdered sugar you want on there. I don't like a lot, so that should be good. So you can make lemon bars in 7 easy steps. Getting your materials, combining all your materials and such, which takes up 5 steps, and then baking it and letting it cool. And Cole Biscoff, a culinary master, once said, "I never knew such a simple dessert could leave such a lasting impression." A good baker can rise to occasion. It's the least he can do. I'm going to show you how to make something so easy a caveman could have done it, if he had an oven, of course. I'm going to show you easy steps, but first, I'm going to show you how to make something so easy a caveman could have done it, if he had an oven, of course. Alright, I don't know what I said. What did I say?
Alright, here.